Hey, welcome to Echoes of Impact with Noura. This is your host, Noura Almasri. Welcome to the show. I always love being here with you guys, and I can't wait. Like from week to week, I always wait for this time when I can talk to you and share my experience with you, share anything that I went through, share the experience of my guests with you all. So I'm really grateful to be here again with you. Today I want to talk about commitments. Commitments, whether you have a business, nonprofit, any project that you are doing, whether you are committing to a family, whatever that type of commitments, do you consider yourself committed? And I want to break down the commitment the way I see it. For example, since we are talking about business owners, nonprofit leaders, I'm going to focus on that. So if you are starting a business or you are maybe in the middle of a business, but you have some challenges, sometimes you feel like you cannot do it anymore, or maybe you feel discouraged. I want you to pause and see why and why did you start this, and are you really committed to have your project win? Commitments comes in taking action. Commitment comes in making sure you are in compliance with whatever rules that you have to do in order to complete your project and be on the no. Like for example, if you have a business and you have maybe team members, maybe you have to do your payroll taxes, you have to do you pay your staff every single pay period, whatever that pay period is. You have to take care of the city level, state level, federal level, all level that required attention from you. Now, maybe you are not being the one who's paying this attention to the details. Maybe you're hiring someone to do that. So this is just one example. Another thing is maybe it's time in your business to hire, to add a staff member, maybe multiple staff members. Sometimes you would be afraid, but you would know if you did not hire someone, maybe you are going to lose your project, or you are going to stay where you are and you cannot grow. And if you want to grow, like no matter what you do, you're not going to grow. Or if you have more clientele, then now your service, your type of service, the quality of service is down because you don't have enough staff members to take care of your clients. All of these things is testing you, see, like to say, oh, are you committed? Committing is really doing what it takes to be successful, to have a successful project, to have a successful business, nonprofit. So you want to make sure you do what you have to do in order to show yourself. You don't need to show anyone, to show yourself that, hey, I am committed and I am going to do whatever it takes to make sure I have a successful project, a successful business. So let me give you an example. For example, when it comes to hiring, like I said, like a lot of people are afraid to hire because you would think, okay, what if I cannot pay my team? What if it didn't work out? And let me tell you, hiring doesn't always work out. Sometimes you have to go through a lot of people to get to the right person. And that's going to take time, money, and emotion, a lot of stress. But that's okay. When you signed up to start your business, you should know like a lot of things coming with it. Like you might not see everything comes with starting a business, but it's there. You're going to see it as you go. So when I started this year, I knew that in order for me to grow and to have the same level of customer service that I used to have since I started Noura's Books, I need to hire. I was so afraid. But what I had to do, I had to okay, let me take the first step. So what I did, I started with the job descriptions for the positions I thought like I need to have these people in the team. So I started with the job description. Then that gave me a courage to post those job descriptions. And then I just started the process, not having what it takes to pay the team. Well, I have the foundation, but I didn't think I can have the funds in order to pay the team. I was so afraid, but I kept encouraging myself, like, okay, like you just have to do what you have, and the rest is in God's hands. So He's going to provide for the rest. But I cannot control the rest. I have to do what I have, what I can do. And I know that when you hire people, you technically increase your income, your revenue, because now you are expending your time, you are expending you're having like other people time, you're having other people brain, you're having other people's skills, because your skills are unique and also other people's skills are unique. So you're not going to have the same level of accuracy of doing something that you are not skilled for. Maybe you can do a mediocre work, but you're not going to do an exceptional work. But someone you hire have that area, in that area, they can do an exceptional work. That's going to make your organization a better organization. So I did hire the people I needed, and then that was in January. I went through a few people, like they were not a good fit for the team. But even though like now I have like some team members, they are great, and until today I still can pay them every pay period. We never had a time that we could not run payroll, because when you bring team, they bring income, because if you hire the right people. So, and this is happening in every stage of expansion. So if you're not ready to take the steps that's necessary for your business, for your nonprofit, for any project you are signing up for, because challenges are coming, you need to expand, you need to do the high level of skills to serve all your clients. To, if you're married, for example, maybe you're going to have a kids and you're not planning for them right now, but you have to rise up to anything that comes up with your project. So commitment is really important for your success. Are you going to take the action? Are you going to stay committed and focus and do what you have in your hand in order to be successful on whatever you want to do, or not? So check in with yourself and ask yourself these questions, and make sure you are committed to whatever decision you about to make or you already made. So check in again with yourself. All right, today I have special guests. As usual, all my guests are special because they are. I have we're going to continue the conversation from last week about board members, and we're going to talk about more stuff about wellness and leadership and more with another guest that I have. I can't wait for you to hear from my guests. I can't wait to receive your questions also. Like, I started receiving some questions from you guys. Keep those questions coming and keep the suggestion coming. I'm loving it, and I want to make sure like I address everything you have, and as much as possible. So like, keep them coming. Let's go now, and I can't wait to have my guests. This is Noura Almasri, and this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is your host, Noura Almasri, and this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. I'm very excited to have my friends back on the show to continue talking about board of director for nonprofits, the building block for the nonprofits. So welcome, my friend Rozetta. Rozetta, welcome back to the show. How are you today?
I am wonderful, Noura. Thank you so much for having me. So Wow.
Glad to have you back here. We did not finish our conversation last week, but before we start, I want you to really quick tell people a little bit about you, those who missed the previous episodes and all episodes that you were our guest here in Echoes of Impact. So can you just give a little quick introduction?
Yes, ma'am. So, my name is Rozetta Williams, and I sit in the founder and CEO seat at Right Touch Consulting, where it's our mission to uplift and empower nonprofits through comprehensive consulting, targeted training, as well as impactful grant writing.
Awesome, awesome. So last week we started talking about the building blocks for an effective board for a nonprofit, and this is a workshop that you have, and you're gonna have like very soon. So we spoke about diversity and inclusion. And guys, if you missed that, you wanna watch the previous episode. You're gonna find it on the um, uh, any spot, any podcast platform, and also on the TV show landing page. So you can always watch us back. So go ahead and continue talking about the building blocks, and then let's talk about the other building blocks.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for bringing it in that way. So last week we had a discussion about diversity and inclusion, and we really talked about when a board has a diverse board, they are able to really ensure that they are making decisions based on the actual community need and not just on what they believe, right? So here's the thing, once we kind of move through that diversity part, and we've already created this board that has our diverse, our we are in this space of diversity, and we know those are the type of organizations or those that we need within our organization, we can move into onboarding and recruiting, right? Recruitment and onboarding. So when you already have that diverse board, the next step is to ensure that you have a structured recruitment and onboarding process. And this involves really identifying those that not only have the skills and the ability to do it, they have a real passion for your organization or for the mission of the organization. Because remember, we want to stay within our missions. This is what we said we would do, but how can we do it and innovate within this within our mission? So once you've identified those qualified candidates or those qualified board members, it's time to now have a structured onboarding process as well.
Before
right?
we get into that, I'm going to stop you a little bit here to tell people, because people are always looking for where should we look for a qualified staff members, board members, as we are talking about board today. So where do we find board members? Can you give us like some example on when should people or where should they look for qualified board members?
So I'd like to believe in that the first place you start is in your own home, right? You go to those board members that you currently have and you ask them to reach out into their networks. As board members, one of their number one most important jobs is to be an ambassador for the organization, to share their passion, share, the work that they're doing, and not be forceful about it. But I would say you start there. And once you go there and you continuously share, then you can look out into the community. Again, you are an ambassador as your nonprofit organization board leader. So you should always be having a conversation about the work that your organization is doing, how it's serving the community, how you want to share with that experience with them.
Awesome. So let's say a lot of people will say, okay, but I don't have anyone around me in my network that would be interested, or maybe they're busy or whatever. Like there's tons of excuses sometimes. So where should they move next?
So once you go into your network, then I would say you start to go into your community. You let them know. You begin to advertise in your social medias. We are looking for board members. We are looking for those who would like to dedicate themselves to what we do, learn about us, come in and see the work that we do. So it is a ripple out effect, I believe, but first you start at home and then you can go out into your community and then go broader than that if you need to.
Awesome. So is online out of the equation, or what do you think of online platforms?
I absolutely don't think it's out of the equation. In fact, I think that if you are able to communicate your needs through an online platform, it opens you up to the endless possibilities. You don't often know, maybe it was a person that you helped or a family that you helped that moved to another state, but they are so grateful for the work that you have done and how you have affected or shifted their lives, that this is part of who they are. They have an understanding of, oh wow, I want to help and I want to be involved. So being open to the possibilities that your board members may not all be in your backyard. And if they're not, that's okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this briefing, because I'm sure this is going to benefit a lot of people who are looking for a qualified board members. And then let's move forward to, we got those board members. Now what? Let's do the onboarding.
Yes. Now that you got them, what are you going to do? This is where having that structured process comes into place, right? Because you want to be able to provide your board member with the right tools right out the gate to be able to start the work. And that includes an orientation, a handbook, this is our expectations of you, and what are your expectations of me, and how we show up. You want to put all of that information in their hands, because if they are educated on what is expected of them, I'm a guarantee you they will be able to show up with all of their greatness. They understand their responsibilities. They understand the commitment that they're making, and they are happy to do so. Mm-hmm. However, you have to give them the tools to do it, right? So when you have, I've even, seen board members take and say, you know what, we have some veteran founders, we have veteran members. Let's compare, let's put them together. Let's pair them so they can get an understanding from these different board members. Create programs that allows your board members to get up to speed so that they can really become quickly activated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of board members are busy individuals. They have their full-time job, they have their families. So what do you think the organization leader should do in order to make sure they don't lose board member? They get people, like, really give them access and help them. So what should they do? Because, like, a lot of people, I've heard from them, like, oh, I don't want to commit to this organization because just the onboarding process, it's too much. I don't have that much time to put in. So is there any way, like, to balance like having good people with busy lifestyle, but we can get them to the organization, onboard them properly, and then they don't feel like this organization is taking so much of their time that they don't have?
That's an amazing question. And I would like to say how I've approached this is I say give your board members the opportunity to really understand that you're asking for a commitment of between 10 and 15 hours a week. Give them that information up front, so then they get the opportunity to decide if that works for them or not. And when I'm sorry, I think I misspoke. I said a week. It's a month. I want you to be engaged and involved in the things that we're doing, and we need your time commitment to do that. So I believe that it starts with that open and honest conversation. The last thing you want to do is I believe when you don't have those conversations, you find those one or two board members that are like, yes, I'm in here and I'm doing it. They're doing all the things and they're showing up for all the things. But what happens when this has gone on now for 4 or 5 years and everyone else is just sitting around doing nothing, waiting for somebody to give them direction? So here you have now a situation where you have a board members that are burnt out, and then those that have not activated right? Because they don't know how to activate. It's not clear what it is expected of them, and then that expectation that they can receive back from the board, right? From that service that they're doing.
Absolutely. That's very important to be clear upfront. And also, like you said, it's 10 to 15 hours a month. So if you don't have that much time, and I think, I think most people would find that time. It's just like the matter of alignment or not aligned with the mission. And before we go, because time goes by very fast, so I want to make sure you tell people about your upcoming workshop for the board building blocks.
Oh, yes. So I have an upcoming workshop, September 26th at 5 p.m. Central Time. It is called The Building Blocks of an Effective Board. And through that workshop, we will definitely delve deeper into all of these areas of what really is required for you to build a board that is going to be sustainable and create the impact in the community that you're really looking for. So we'll dive a little deeper, much deeper into the topics of diversity and inclusion, as well as recruitment and onboarding. I want to give you some hands-on practice of what it looks like when you need to do that as you're preparing to do that, because I really believe we're all in this place of shifting. And this is a way to help your organization do so.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rozetta. Thank you for being here at Echoes of Impact with me. I really enjoyed our conversation. I'm sure they did get a lot of value and a lot of information so they can create a better board. Until next time, I will say thank you so much. And this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is your host, Noura Almasri, and this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. I have a very special guest now, my friend, Dr. Maria Malayter. She is here back on the show with us. We had her on a Mother Day episode back in the beginning of the show, like when we first started Echoes of Impact. So you can go ahead and watch that episode to listen or watch what Dr. Maria had to say. But today we're going to have a different conversation. Dr. Maria, welcome back to Echoes of Impact. How are you today?
Oh, hi, Noura. It's great to see you. Thank you for having me back. Excited to be back in the conversation.
Of course, it's my pleasure. It's always great to talk to you about all the great things that you have. Before we start, I wanted to ask you to let the people know a little bit about you, those who did not watch you in the first episode yet. So can you let us know a little bit about yourself and what you're doing?
Oh, sure. So I head up Innovations and Change, LLC. And what that is it is a high performance leadership coaching business. And also we do workshops and consulting and speaking. And so I'm leading that now. And we're in the game of helping people be awesome leaders. So we're also helping organizations advance by working with individuals on their own individual performance and productivity. So there's lots of different ways that we do that. But one of our signature programs is taking a look at the authentic leader and using the system of positive intelligence by Shirzad Chamine. So that's a big part of our work.
That's awesome. And before we continue, I just want to say happy birthday. Your birthday was yesterday, so happy birthday.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Another time around the sun. Woo!
Yes. Do you have any special thing to share about your birthday?
So I kind of celebrate all month. And so it started with going to those sunflower fields. I love to do that. I love to look at the sunflowers, kind of naturey. I guess it's a naturey thing. And then let's see, we went hiking and that was fun. And then, of course, I'm in part of the Dog Mom Club. And so I have a dog and we went to the Morton Arboretum for their Tails on Trails. So those are some of the adventures of my birthday month. I'm still entertaining offers for birthday events.
That's fun. We will go together out for your birthday before
For
the
sure.
month is up. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. This is awesome. I'm sure a lot of people get idea how can they celebrate or what can they do before the winter comes. So let's get back to leadership. So how do you get this like leadership? And you said like the positive intelligence program. How do you do? What's exactly like do you do? Like, because I know a lot of people were like, what, how?
What? How? Huh? Wow. Well, a lot of it is I kind of focused definitely on getting people to their true selves. So sometimes people move into a leadership position and then they think they have to be someone completely different. Well, really, they got in that leadership position because of all the great skills they already have. They're usually working in their strengths. Someone recognizes and says, hey, you should be a leader. So it's about kind of recognizing your strengths and then keeping in alignment with your values. And that really helps leaders grow. So I come from that focus. And then in addition to weave it in is every day we really need tools to make sure we're making the right decisions. And we need to be focused on what's happening in the present moment and what's most important. So there's this program that I use. It's called Positive Intelligence, and it walks you through getting to know more about yourself and the way that you communicate and how you communicate and interact with others. It also helps you with resilience and building that. And it's based in coaching with me, but also a phone app. And
yeah, I
app
love that phone app. Is that the same exact app that I used?
Yes, it's the same exact app. So Noura has been through Positive Intelligence and she's had the opportunity to learn more about the skills that are trained in there to excel her leadership.
Yeah, this is awesome. Like, I love the app, guys. You must, can anyone download it or do they have to connect with you to download it, right?
Yes, they need to connect with a Positive Intelligence coach so they can connect with me, because you can download it now and you can see a little bit of the framework of the app. But in order to see the enhanced version with all the videos and all the different skill building, you have to connect with a Positive Intelligence coach.
Awesome. And how can they connect with you, like, to get to that?
Oh, yes. So definitely you can go to my website at docmaria.com, or you can shoot me an email at maria@docmaria.com. Makes it really simple. Reach out to Dr. Maria.
So everyone can spell your name, which is awesome.
Yes, Maria.
Yes, that's awesome. So yeah, continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
Oh, no. Well, I'm glad that, like, I should ask you, you said you love the Positive Intelligence. So, not to put you on the spot, but everybody gets something different out of it because there's just so many dimensions of it. So what would be a highlight that you learned as you were trying out that program?
So the most thing, like, it did bring to my attention that you can bring yourself to now and the now moment while you're in meeting, while you are anywhere doing anything, just simply by doing some, like, touching maybe your fingers.
Yes.
Like all these techniques that they teach you. It's really amazing because I've got into meditation and other stuff like for a few years now, but I always wanted, I want to do a meditation. So it's in order to stop my thoughts and everything, but never thought like, okay, even when I'm in the middle of something in a meeting or maybe I'm doing a video or something, like I can bring my brain, like, get it, here, I am the commander here, come back, in such a very simple way. I love that. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, and that's the whole thing, is sometimes people, they don't even realize that they're thinking about the past or will they look silly or something. They're so busy in their mind, they're not present in the situation. So yes, that's an excellent point, because it gives you self-command of your mind. So instead of thinking about, I fell off my bicycle one day, I can't get back on it. Well, that's not the story to say. You're in a leadership role. It's kind of, here we are in the moment. Let me stay focused. What's happening and what's the best right next step in the moment, instead of worrying about other things.
Absolutely. And to help leaders, like, how do you help them in addition to the Positive Intelligence program that you have? Is it like one-on-one only? Is it like in an organizational setting?
So it could be both, depends on what someone's looking for. So individually, a lot of times what I find is I've been helping people really hone in on their character strengths. So a lot of people have different strengths inventories that they may have taken, but what are their character strengths? Because people, it's so much easier. You can get into what's called the flow of psychology, your own flow in life, if you're working in your strengths, because you're not thinking about it. It's so easy for you. And then you can kind of decide what you want to delegate or have someone else do. So that's, it's kind of getting to those points, like where do you want to focus your energy, and then who can complement you with other strengths. So that's one area, of what I do with leaders. The other part is asking them, what are they motivated on working on? Because to get in a leadership role, people have accomplished a lot.
Yeah,
and so
let me get back to that, but we have to take a break, and we'll come back with you, Dr. Maria, to continue that number 2.
Okay.
All right, guys. This is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is your host, Noura Almasri, and this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. All right, we're back with Dr. Maria. Dr. Maria, let's continue. Let's move on with that.
Oh, yes. Yes. So you get in a leadership role and you have accomplished a lot already, and you've done everything. You probably even swept the floors. You've done everything. You know everything about the business, or a lot. And so I work with people to help them hone into their motivated skills. So again, kind of similar to strengths, like what are you really motivated on focusing on? And that really helps your performance too. So if you're busy doing Excel spreadsheets and that's not your thing, well, then how else are you going to be productive in your leadership role? So I help people hone in through this assessment called motivated skills. And so they can kind of list out all of their skills that they have achieved and accomplished, but then they get to weed it down to what are my top focus areas. So that helps people's performance.
Awesome. Yeah, this is very important because like I noticed for myself, like some tasks I do, they kill my spirit, and they, I drag them all day long, sometimes weeks, and they prevent me to do anything else. And I just don't want to do them. And other stuff that I do, like they just give me a lot of energy. Like, for example, when I do a coaching call, after that, even if it was at the end of the day, I feel like so energetic and like, yes, this is like I can do another day before the next day. So this is really important. So you help them in one-to-one and also on the organizational setting.
Yes. So I can work with people individually. And so I've done quite a bit of that, but organizationally, so an organization can say, hey, I want my team to go through this process together. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really effective to do the positive intelligence process together because you're using the same language. So then people, they can identify with others better. Their communication increases if you do that as a group. So that's helpful. And then you're also discussing the topics on a weekly basis, like, what's holding me up? Like what's sabotaging what I'm doing? And you can get that clear. And then if you're doing it in a group, it's easier because then you can delegate, and say, hey, well, on this team, here's my strength. And then you can sort it out when you're doing it together as a group. So that's the group coaching option.
Oh, that's awesome. So, is there any type of business you feel like you can work with them better than the other group, or what's your preference?
So right now I've been working with more small to mid-sized companies. So it's not necessarily industry specific, but I mean, I think if they can identify that if they're finding issues of burnout or productivity problems, then it'd be good to kind of think about doing a program for their organization.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And is it like one-on-one? So you go to the business, or is it something like more you do with them virtually? How do you work on that?
So it depends on location, but I can work virtually. And then within the phone app too, what's also cool is that there's a chat function. So people can support each other well 24/7 if they really want to, you know, and so that's an option too. So in person, virtually, and then through all the electronic means.
Nice. And also you work on culture with the leadership or with companies.
Oh yeah, yes. So do you mean organizational culture or cultural competency?
Organizational culture.
Well, so when an organization decides to come on and take a coach approach, which is super positive and has a big return on investment for organizations that are going to the coach approach. So it helps change the culture. So instead of the micromanage type culture of do this or the tell and do, the coaching is more helping the person develop. So you have to develop those coaching skills. So that ends up changing. It changes the culture, which is good because there's all different ways that people work today. I mean, they work in person, they work remote, they work hybrid. So it just keeps the conversation going, you know, when you're looking a little bit more on the coach approach and a little more empowering.
Nice. No, this is amazing. And I know you have an upcoming conference here in Bolingbrook, Illinois. So can you tell us a little bit about it?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And yes, and thank you for being one of the speakers and being selected to be one of the speakers.
I can't wait.
It's called the Wellness and Education Conference. It is being held at the Bolingbrook Community Center, and it is October 24th, 25th, and 26th. And we're bringing a bunch of different people together to talk about the big topic of wellness. And when you're thinking about wellness, people are thinking, oh, well, maybe it's just like exercising and eating, and it's not that. There's 10 dimensions of wellness. And so there'll be topics across the board on those 10 dimensions. You know, could be finance, it could be environmental, protectoral, could be insurance topics. It could be, you know, of course, your eating and working out and your emotional and spiritual, occupational, all those dimensions. So it's going to be a broad conversation with some really amazing speakers. So I'm speaking on well-being centered leadership. So leaders can focus on their well-being, you know, and that's a little preview of the talk I'll be giving.
That's awesome. I can't wait to hear your talk. And can you tell us, that's bringing me to your 10 dimension of wellness. This is a concept I did not hear from anyone before you. So can you please touch on this?
Oh, sure. So, okay. So, well, without giving a big history lesson. So we've looked at health and wellness, like high level wellness was the term that started. So then people started to expand with different dimensions. So it was first physical, intellectual, social, and spiritual. Then they started to add emotional and occupational. And then as time went on, when they were measuring like how people are well or not, then they added nutritional, and environmental and protectoral and financial, because these were all different ways that people, you know, it impacted their wellness, their whole, you know, and wellness being your overall way of being in life. And just a lot of those different ways could, you know, if you're stressed, you can usually tie it back to one of those wellness topics. So yeah, that's the 10 dimensions of wellness. And I have to give a shout out to Dr. Frank Ardito, who came up with that 10 dimensions, and it's really phenomenal.
Nice. This is very important. And we often focus on one dimension and we ignore the rest.
Right.
Feeling like, I don't have time now. Like I have to focus on this. And absolutely, like that's not going to help anyone. So this is very important. So for the conference, I know you do speaking engagement, like any like topics that your signature topics that you want to share with people. So if someone's out there looking for a speaker, here's Dr. Maria, because she offered that.
Yes. Perfect. Well, yes. Well-being centered leadership is one. And then a lot of times I talk about navigating the ride of change. So I talk about the change topics and how people think about change. And so when we're talking about navigating the ride of change, I'm always wondering where people are, if we take RIDE, that acronym, if they're risking, innovating, deciding, and enduring. So it's a little small model. Also, I talk a lot about career topics and wellness topics. So those are some of the, you know, signature pieces that I have. And then I'm going to be expanding a little bit more on positive intelligence and resilience.
Nice. Nice. So I want to come back to the conference that you're having on Bolingbrook. So how did the idea like originally came, like, and okay, you decided this date and to talk about it right now, like with a group of people. So, and who is it for also? So people who, how, you know, they know, okay, is it for me? Is it for someone else?
Sure. No, this is great. So I wanted to first definitely say the website. So it's www.weconferences.org. So, and it's wellness and education. And how this conference started is there are these great women that are working on this project, and they are with the GRIT organization. And so, Dr. Ali Cipra and Susan Barnes, they have been meeting, and they go ahead and they go around and they are presenting a social emotional learning curriculum to schools. So to children, then to the community service officers, and then also doing some professional development for teachers. So they decided they wanted to do a conference. And so when we ended up getting someone introduced us, Shelley Maxwell from the ATI Foundation introduced us, and we were able to collaborate and say, hey, let's put together this wellness conference and start a conversation about how we approach wellness in the community on a large scale, So the type of people that'll come to this, there will be researchers, there will be community members, there will be business owners. So those are the different types of people to just start this conversation. And I do have to give a shout out to the Bolingbrook mayor, who has offered the space for this program to start. So that's what we've been up to, accepting different proposals on lots of different topics.
That's absolutely amazing. And I love that this is like here in the suburb, like very close to home. So, and like everyone needs it now and forever. So I'm really excited for the conference. And it's going to be for 2 days, right?
It's 3 days. It's like 2.5 days. So yeah, Thursday, Friday, and then a half Saturday. And Saturday we'll have a bigger focus on like some action-oriented wellness, from what I understand. I still have to see all the agenda though.
Yeah, you guys need to go check it out, like weconference.com.
Yeah, weconferences.com. Mm-hmm. Or no, .org. .org.
.org. All right.
I'm like, wait a minute, what's the end there?
No worries. So yeah, so go check it out, guys. And if you have a trouble, you can always email me at hello@echoesofmback.net to give you any information that you might miss in the show. Would love to give you the information. Thank you so much, Dr. Maria. I can't wait for the conference. I cannot wait to see you soon for your birthday. And it's really amazing to have someone as wonderful as you, like caring about people, caring about what like people wellness, because really like we need to give this attention to every and each one of us, whether you are a business owner, whether you are just like you are working in a workplace or a stay-home mom or whoever, like whatever your space is, you need to take care of your financial and your all that 10 dimension of wellness. And right. To learn more about this, you need to follow Dr. Maria, drmaria.com.
Yes, drmaria.com. Thank you so much, Noura. You're just such a joy. I appreciate you. You're phenomenal. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being here. It's always awesome to have you. And I love having conversation with you as usual. Okay, guys, this is bringing us to the end of the show, and time always goes by very, very fast with the wonderful guests that we have. And I always enjoy like talking to you guys and giving you the information that I think is going to benefit you. But also I want to hear from you, and I want you to tell me, what would you like me to talk about? What type of guests you would like to see in the show? And if you have a story, if you have something to share with us or with our audience, I want you to email me at hello@echoesofmback.net, hello@echoesofmback.net. This was Noura Almasri at Echoes of Impact with Noura. Until next time, keep making an impact.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.